Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Trailhead Ranger NJ. And in our today's video, we'll be completing this batch that is Agentforce Specialist Certification Maintenance of Summer 25 release. So if you have already done the certification of Agentforce Specialist, you might be due for this maintenance certification, and you might be receiving emails for that, or you can check that out by going to your Trailhead profile and see that if it is due for maintenance. If it is, then you can see the complete maintenance button in front of it, and you can click on it, and you'll be landed over here. If not, I'll be pasting the link of this module in the description box. You can check that out. So we'll be starting this by going through the first unit, that is get up to date on agent force concepts. Let's start. So there are some things which has been newly introduced as part of summer 25 release for the agent force. So we'll be going over through those changes. That's it. First is control agent access to topics and actions with filters. So it is talking about that they have introduced some filters criteria which we can apply to the topics and actions in agent force, and which will allow us to control the agent's access. So what you can do, you can create a variable and add that variable to our agent using the context panel, and which will be serving as our conditions in the filters. So that we can do by going to the filters tab and create a filter on our agent's topic. So in the topics panel, if we will go to the details page for the topic or action which we want to control, we can apply that filter. And once we do so, suppose we have applied the filter that it will be allow us to be visible only for those users or those records for which having the status is this particular, or even for users profile. Those kind of conditions we can apply, and then we can make the agent active, and it will only be visible, that topic will only be visible for that particular records or the users which have access to it. Then if we are providing some sensitive information for the customer, then we can even enable the customer verification. So we are having one customer verification topic present in our agent force now, so we can utilize that, and using that we can verify our customers details. So suppose if our company offers booking through the self service channel, that is that agent, that AI driven, then we can have the customer verification topic play a role in this, that we can allow the user to request the booking, and then we can have our AI set up in such manner that they can request the user's email or username or any other details, and then we can provide them with the OTP, and then they can complete the verification. Now we have newly feature of testing center as well to test our agent. So for that we can go to the Agentforce testing center, and it will allow us to run the batch tests using a simple CSV templates, or we can even utilize the generative AI to create the test scenarios. We can test up to 1000 cases per test, or running up to 10 test jobs in the 10-hour window. So to run a test, you can go to the testing center by just searching for it in the setup, or if you can go to the agent force builder, you can search for batch test. You can click on that, and then you can generate a new test, and for whichever agent you want to run this test, you can select that agent and provide the description. So that's how we can do this. Now if we will move forward, we will talk about that how we can deploy this agent in the further environment. So we can utilize the change set, but for that change set we should have some particular permission. So to edit the deployment connections, like basically to set up the connection between suppose if we want to transfer this metadata of agent from one org to another org, example org 1 to org 2, then these should have one deployment connection set up, and to set up that connection we should be having particular permissions such as deploy change sets and modify metadata through metadata API functions permission. So for outbound operations, we should have create and upload change set permission, and for the inbound operation we should have the deploy change set and the modify metadata permissions. So that's how you can create a deployment connection and perform the deployment of agent using change set. Now if we will go about the agent versioning, so basically without interrupting the existing code, you can create a new version of that agent by choosing a clone version option, or even you can choose to delete the previous version as well, and then you can test your changes and have it deployed to the higher org. Now, if we will come to the quiz, our first question is, what's one way Agentforce helps protect access to sensitive topics and actions within an agent experience? First option is assigning different permission sets to each agent version. Second is using filters and customer verification to control access based on conditions. Third is requiring agents to be activated in Agentforce Builder before use. And last one is limiting access to actions based on the number of active agent versions. So B option should be the correct one. Now, if we will move further, the second question is, which of the following is true about using Agentforce Testing Center? First option is, you can test agents using CSV templates or have tests automatically created using Gen AI. Second is, it only support test for standard Salesforce objects. Third option is, you must deploy an agent to production before testing it. And the last one is, the testing center is only available in the professional edition. So first option is correct. Third question is, what's a required step when deploying an AI agent from a sandbox to production using change set? First option is activate the agent in production before uploading the change set. Second option is use the same user license in both sandbox and production. Third option is ensure the orgs are connected via deployment connection. And the last one is run the test cases again in the testing center after deployment. So third option is correct. We should have a deployment connection set up between the connected orgs, then only we can perform the deployment using change sets. Now, our fourth question is, when creating a test in Agentforce Testing Center, what must be included in the CSV file? First option is the label of each topic or action you are testing. Second option is at least one utterance and the API name of the expected topic. Third option is a list of connected email addresses for verification. And the last one is the agent version number and agent ID. So B option should be correct one. And that's the end of our quiz. Let's check. And it's correct. Let's move on to the next unit. Our next unit is learn what's new with the Agentforce and Data 360. So, first of all, there are enhanced responses with the data library. So, it supports two primary ways to enhance the responses. First is custom retrievers for pulling in grounded internal data using filters, and the second one is web search data libraries for surfacing relevant external content from the internet. So that would provide us wide range of data now and the responses from our AI agents than earlier. Now if we talk about the custom retrievers with filters, so we can define where and what data our agent pulls into its as responses. So we can configure custom retrievers in our AI models, and we can even set filters to target the specific subsets of our data. So like only retrieving products specifically tagged as hardware or written in German, that things we can specify, and that way it will only pull those responses. And also to manage the retrievers in AI models, so users should have particular things such as it should allow users to manage models in AI models, or otherwise it should have one of these permission sets such as data cloud admin, marketing admin, and the data cloud data aware specialist. Now, if we want to proceed with this custom retriever, how we should go about it? In our AI model, we should go and then there is a retrievers tab. On that, we can select to click on new retriever button, and after that, we can select individual retriever and perform all these operations. You can go through it. You can see that we have option to define the filters, that if all conditions are met or if any of the condition is met, or if you want to apply the custom logic to it. Now, after it, we can review and save our retriever and name it clearly to reflect its use case. So, it won't be available for the prompt templates until it's activate a version. we need to activate our custom retriever as well. Now, if we talk about the use web search with Agentforce data library, so we can set that up by going to the Agentforce data library, by searching for it in setup, and then click on new library and save its name, description, and the other things, and define its data type as web search. And then we can toggle on this add web source data so that it can fetch the data from the internet. So let's move on, and this is just one example they have given, then how you can set up one topic in our agent force agent and then go about it. Okay, we'll move further, we'll skip all of this. And this is then prompt instructions and the custom retriever, they are setting it up, adding the filters to custom retriever and adding filters in AI models. So let's come to the quiz. So first question is, which two types of data sources can be used in Agentforce data library to improve response accuracy? First option is pre-trained LLM only data, custom retrievers with filters. Second option is custom retrievers with filters, web search data libraries. Third option is Slack conversations and filters. And last option is data libraries and pre-trained LLM only data. So second option should be the correct one. Now, the second question is, what is the purpose of adding a custom retriever to a field generation prompt template in Prompt Builder? First option is to perform bulk data exports from data cloud. Second option is to allow the agent to create new data model objects. Third option is to ground prompts with real time data for more accurate responses. And last one is to summarize all account records in a single response. I think C option should be the correct one. Let's check. And it's correct. Let's move on to the next unit. Our next unit is learn what's new with the Agent Force and Agent Force service. Okay. So first of all, set up a data library with knowledge articles. Okay. So data cloud is enabled in our org, and we have the data cloud admin permission set as well. So we can get started to create a new data library and give it a unique descriptive name and select the data source for our libraries as well. Okay, we can connect our agents to the digital channel, and for it the prerequisite would be available in lightning experience and certain additions. And there are some permissions which are required to manage agents, such as manage agent for service agents and manage AI agents or customize application permissions. For this, there are certain supported languages, models, and the trust layer. So, Agent for Service Agent supports over 25 languages and the locales, including English, French, German, Japanese, Spanish, Portuguese, and several languages in beta such as Danish, Finnish, Swedish, and Korean. And the primary LLM supported in OpenAI GPT integrated with the Einstein Trust Layer. So this layer also provides us with certain AI safety feature, which is zero data retention policy, dynamic grounding, prompt defenses, toxicity detection, audit, and feedback. Now, if we want to configure our service agent deployment, so it involves certain components in service cloud and messaging. So we need to go to the messaging setting and toggle the messaging to on. Set up the routing configuration and click on new, and we can set up those routing configuration with these details. If you want to follow up these steps side by side, you can set it up, but you need to have a agent force based playground that you can maybe have created for yourself. There is a separate dev org for agent force as well, which can be created for free, but I guess there's a limitation that it can be available for certain days only. So yeah, then you can set up one queue as well, and then we can allow that queue to be sent in agent force. Define a statuses. Okay, and then permission set, we can select the permission set. Under apps, there is service present statuses access. We can mark the previously created available and then select the statuses as selected and manage the assignment. Okay, this is all of that configuration. Then we can follow these steps to build an omni-channel flow to route messages as well. I'll not go through all these steps. Then we have important limitations and consideration, that agent for service agent supports only inbound conversation only initiated by the customer. There are certain standard topics and actions which are not supported, such as querying records, updating fields, or even drafting emails. Agentforce APIs currently support only default data space in the data cloud, and there are messaging character limits as well, vary by channel. That is, for Facebook it is 2000 characters, for Line it is 5000 characters, SMS 912, WhatsApp 4096 characters, and Apple Messages for businesses 50,000 characters. So when customers send multiple messages in quick succession, they are processed sequentially. Use UI code snippets to prevent messages spamming on web channels. Okay, let's come to the quiz. Our first question is, what must users do to allow an AI agent to answer questions using knowledge articles? First option is enable messaging and create an omni-channel flow. Second option is upload a PDF file to the Agentforce data library. Third option is create a data library using knowledge articles as the source. And last one is add a knowledge component to the lightning page. So I think first one should be the correct answer. Second question is, what are the required steps to connect an agent for service agent to a digital channel like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger? First option is install a third party messaging app from App Exchange. Second is configure omnichannel, create a service deployment, and build an omnichannel flow. Third option is add a chatbot widget to the homepage layout. And the last one is assign a knowledge data library and add it to the service console. I think B option should be the correct one. Let's check. Okay. Then C option should be correct. Create a data library using knowledge articles as the source. For yeah, answer question using the knowledge article. We need knowledge article as the source, which we can create using data library. Okay, let's move on to the last unit of this module, that is new with the Agentforce and the Agentforce sales. So we need to choose between Agentforce SDR and Agentforce sales coach. So Agentforce SDR is allow us to automate sales development and outreach tasks such as qualifying leads and booking meetings to scale your sales funnel. Agentforce Sales Coach empowers sales rep with personalized coaching, role playing scenarios, and feedback based on real data to boost sales skill. So, to set up Agentforce SDR, need to configure the Agentforce SDR agent, sales engagement cadence creator, and automated actions user. So here are the overall steps to get started. So you need to follow all these steps to assign the certain permission, to set up the SDR agent user, enable required features and configure the agent, and then enable email visibility for the sales user. Now set up agent for sales coach. So for that you need to understand and assign its permissions, then again set up the agent for sales coach user, activate the agent, and then ground the agent for sales coach with retrieval augmentation generation, and then add the retrievers to the prompt template. Retrievers are those which we have talked about earlier, that is that custom retrievers. Now, if we will come to the quiz, our first question is, how do Agentforce SDR and Agentforce Sales Coach differ in their purposes? So, first option is SDR analyzes call data, Sales Coach books meeting with prospect. Second option is SDR coaches sales rep and Sales Coach qualifies leads. Third option is SDR automates outreach and Sales Coach provide rep coaching and feedback. Last option is SDR writes product documentation and sales coach manages forecast reports. I think C option should be the correct one. Now, second question is, when would someone use an agent for sales coach instead of an agent for SDR? When you need to automate lead qualification and appointment setting, when you want to analyze competitor pricing data, when your goal is to improve rep performance with personalized coaching, and when your sales team needs help sending bulk marketing emails. I think D option should be the correct one. Let's check. Okay, so for this, if you'll go back here, okay, email part was from this SDR. So if you'll come back here, it would be C, to provide rep performance and personalized coaching. Mm, reference you uploaded document and deliver more contextually accurate responses. Okay, and sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's see. This is for using agent for sales coach. Sales coach, yeah. Let's check. And it's correct. Okay, so we are done with this module, and I hope you learn something with me. I'm also a learner which learns alongside with you. So if you learned something with me and if you like the video, please like it and subscribe the channel, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.